I'm Kathy.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Isaac. Yeah. Okay, this is our presentation.
We did A Christmas Tree by Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens, yeah.
Alright, I'm ready.
Isaac, would you like to start us off with a passage?
No.
Oh. Okay, I guess I'll start.
You
are
make
you
the
the
question.
Let's see if you
Read
read
a question.
You make the
Alright,
conversation.
Alright, so I'll start off with a question. What does the Christmas tree represent?
I think the Christmas tree represents the layers. Well, it's has a lot of meanings, but he goes into such detail describing it. All the layers and all the toys and all those levels of memory. Each memory comes from kind of a different time. And I think it's kind of representing his life a little bit. In this one passage, let's see. Yeah, so it's kind of like life is represented by the Christmas tree. So it says, "Vast is the crop of such fruit shining on a Christmas tree, in blossom almost at the very top, ripening all down the boughs." So it's kind of like life. It starts either you're really open-minded at the bottom, wide, and then it narrows, and you kind of get a narrow mind, and you get all stuck up with your own beliefs. Or you're a more open person, and you start out kind of not knowing anything, and then you kind of open your view of the world, and you learn new things and stuff like that. So it can go either way, but I think that's kind of what it represents.
Yeah, I was gonna say basically what Isaac was gonna say. It kind of it's either you start out really pure and because I kind of thought of it as his aging as he went out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Kind of
the star would be when he was a little baby,
Yeah.
and then as he got older, he branched out and kind of explored and experienced more.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought the Christmas tree represented.
Yeah. At the same time, though, when he was a baby, he had a lot of imagination, and then he was kind of remembering how much he could different things. I might have a passage here. Okay, yeah.
No.
Let's see. Well, we can come back to that. But continue.
Alright, so another important piece would be, how does him being dead affect the story? So why did the author decide to make it die?
I mean,
what does it do for the plot and stuff?
I mean, at the end of this, he reviews that at the end of the story. So I don't think it kind of makes you realize that this is all just kind of a recollection of what he did in his life, and so anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's once he kind of died, he kind of had he was able to step back and see what his life was like in another person's eyes, basically, but it was still him, and he got Do you have anything there? Do you?
Not for this one, no.
Okay.
Okay, so I have another from earlier, about his imagination.
Okay.
And so this is page 147. Okay. So it
Just look on.
starts with O.
Oh?
O. Okay, so
I think I like the
he
letter
says,
O.
yeah.
Or is it this O?
Oh, now all common things become uncommon and enchanted to me. All lamps are wonderful, all rings are talisman. Common flower pots are full of treasure, with a little earth scattered on top. And so he's talking about all these normal things that when he was a kid were so amazing because you just kind of imagine them in different ways. And he can't really do that anymore just because he's old and he's dead, obviously, but yeah. So he's just kind of remembering a time when he had an open mind.
Yeah, I have something to add.
Okay.
Okay, so as we all know, like Dickens, like he grew up in like the Industrial Revolution kind of, so like his parents and everything, so like he never got to experience like a real Christmas. In Dickens' time, Christmas was not really a holiday. In fact, for most people, it was still a work day. The Industrial Revolution meant few days off for people or everyone, and Christmas was considered so unimportant that no one complained. And that to me is kind of like he puts that all into his stories, and he like makes the character believe that like Christmas isn't important. For example, like Scrooge from The Christmas Carol, and then this character in this book that like they kind of don't really care up until the very end. So yeah.
It seems like this guy thought Christmas was like really magical though when he was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like
Christmas is magical.
It was, yeah. It's he was like really loved the whole like tree and everything in it. Yeah. He did talk about like a mask that was being really terrifying to him, and so I mean, not everything was wonderful, but there's some dark parts too. But mostly his recollection was really nice and like pleasant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that also goes on to the, so when Dickens passed away in 1870, when Dickens passed away in 1870, a young girl in London asked a question that demonstrated how strongly Dickens' writing was associated with the holiday season in modern Christmas tradition. She asked, "Mr. Dickens is dead, then will Father Christmas die too?" And I feel like that kind of twists into like the character really believing in Christmas and how much impact Dickens put on Christmas and how he like kind of changed the tradition of Christmas kind of.
Yeah, he really emphasized it a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, he really went into detail about everything about it, and yeah.
What's the significance of the ghosts?
Well, I think the ghosts are like.
What do they represent?
I think they represent kind of like what can go wrong in life, because like they're all really they all died in really kind of horrible ways. Like they killed themselves, some like drowned in a pond, and so I think they were like represented like unsatisfied people, like unfulfilled dreams and stuff. And so they, in the afterlife, they just kind of kept wanting something that they couldn't get, and so they're just like forever just like wanting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ghost didn't really like it's kind of cliche, but like live up to like what they could have. Like they kind of had like aspects like set them back, or like they like doubted, or like it's just like more like they didn't put enough effort into doing what they wanted to do, and because of that, like kind of regret after they died.
Yeah.
Speaking of regret, I have a question on regret. Going into theme now, do you think regret is a good theme for the story? Why or why not?
I think so,
because like, okay, you go.
First. Okay, so I have so like sometimes like you do something and you don't really think about it that much, but sometimes it has like a way bigger impact than you thought, and like so like when he's like doesn't stop like exploring and like just kind of becomes like this kind of just lonely nobleman. He kind of like you just don't know what's gonna happen, and so like I have a page 157. Yeah.
Sure.
So in course of time.
Okay.
Yeah. So so this is talking about these two young men who were friends earlier in life. In course of time, this compact was forgotten by our friend. The two young men having progressed in life and taken diverging paths that were wide asunder. But one night, many years afterward, our friend being in the north of England and staying for the night in an inn on Yorkshire moors, happened to look out of bed, and there in the moonlight, leaning on a bureau near the window, steadfastly regarding him, saw his old friend. The appearance being solemnly addressed, replied in a kind of whisper, but very audibly, "Do not come near me. I am dead. I am here to redeem my promise." Yeah, so, like, his friend, like, they made this promise, like, way back, but he totally forgot about it, and then he just came back to haunt it.
All right. I
So
think
continue, man.
I think regret is a good theme because I think like when he's looking at the Christmas tree and he's like you said like we said about like how like each layer represents like a time or
Yeah.
an age of his life. I think like he's going through all like his life and like he has regret for some of the things he did and didn't do.
Yeah.
No.
Alright, now what do you think the theme of the story is?
I think there's multiple themes.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the main one that stands out to you?
Okay.
That's not regret. And if it's regret, then go with second place.
Well, then I think it's besides regret. I think it's to keep an open mind and to just kind of go with the flow and just see where it leads you. Yeah, because if you kind of try to force it, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I feel like you should be like simultaneous about like the decisions that you make. Like you can't really plan everything out in life, so like I think you need to have that mindset, or you should, but then like you like can't like train yourself to have that mindset. But like it's a good trait to have when you can't really plan everything out in life, and like I feel like that would be a theme is that like you have to be simultaneous and like go with the flow type thing because it's like he kind of planned everything out and he like I don't know like personally like I don't like when things aren't planned out and everyone needs to start being like
I mean sometimes plans just don't work out so you have to kind of adapt
adapt and overcome.
I have another
Hey, what page?
let's see. One sec. I need to find it. Okay, so this is kind of talking about letting his imagination run. So page 152.
Where's it start?
It's the start of this paragraph.
We all come home.
And I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah. Okay, so he's talking about coming back home for Christmas. And I do come home at Christmas. We all do, or we all should. We all come home, or ought to come home, for a short holiday. The longer the better. From the great boarding school where we are forever working on our arithmetical slates to take and give a rest. And as to go visiting, where can we not go, if we will? Where have we not been when we would, starting our fancy away from our Christmas tree? So, I think this kind of applies to us because, our lives are so busy, and, we never, a lot of time we don't have time to just, let our thoughts, wander because we're so focused on, school and everything else that we just never, have time to just think and, kind of be ourselves. So, I think that applies to this.
Yeah, I think as well as I think this applies to everyone as well, is that we kind of have our own faces, I guess. We put on a different face for people who we're with. And I feel like if we want to be a better person and I don't know, just an all around better community, I feel like we need to start shedding off those layers and kind of showing everyone who we really are. And I feel like that's what Dickens was trying to portray in the story as well, is that we need to stop thinking about what other people think about ourselves and actually kind of consider if we're happy with ourselves more you don't it's we don't need the approval of somebody else, but we do.
Are we doing what we
are we doing what we want to do in life?
Because a lot of times we just kind of fall blindly.
It's it's which one's what is protagonist, antagonist is
protagonist is the good
It's
guy.
the main character.
Okay, it's we aren't our in some people's lives we aren't the own protagonist, and we kind of follow along to what everyone else is doing, and I feel like we need to stop that
cycle.
Yeah, cycle.
There's another kind of thing relating to that. In one part, page 153, Let's see. It's kind of just a general part, but so it starts with we are
number one.
We are middle aged. So he's talking about himself, but he says we are middle aged noblemen, and we make a generous supper with our host and hostess and their guests. Okay, and then we go to bed. So he's like referring to himself as we, which kind of is weird, but I think it's like referring to his multiple like personalities and like his multiple selves, like when he was a child and like how he was, and then how he's grown to be. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Going off from that, like, but going off from that, like, since Dickens, like his family, all of his stories kind of connect back to his childhood, and he felt like he grew up too fast from what he was like. He never really got a childhood that like kind of was like happy, bubbly, rainbows all day. Like he felt like he needs to go back in time and kind of fix that to where he can like kind of live carefree. And because like he couldn't live carefree when he was younger, he was always kind of like stressed. I feel like that brought up came into his adult life, and he never really got the chance to be a kid when he rightly should have been. So that's why, that's why I feel like the tree is so significant. It's really that too.
All right, do you think this story and the Christmas Carol have any in common themes?
Well, I mean, I think the theme, he uses ghosts a lot. So I think one of the themes would be like be careful like what you do with your life, because it doesn't last that long.
Yeah.
And so like obviously like we don't know if ghosts exist, but he uses ghosts as like the punishment for like the warning for what you might do.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Ghosties.
Yeah. As well as like I feel like what they both have in common is that like lost my train of thought.
Going on to the language part now. Why did the author make the story switch between his alive perspective and his death perspective? Or dead.
Yeah, I feel like it gave you two. It's like kind of like reading something or like it's kind of like looking. So like it's kind of like us looking at something in our perspective and having someone else come and see it. It's like two completely different views of what's happening and like how
it's totally a different person.
Yeah, it's like it's different, basically.
Yeah, like when he's a kid, everything was great, but when he gets older, it's kind of like shit.
Okay. Next one, or do you got something?
One sec. Well, this is just another part about like stuff coming back to haunt you. So page 156. So thus it comes to pass.
Oh, for sure.
Where?
Right there.
Thus it comes to pass with a certain room in a certain old hall, where a certain bad lord, baronet, knight, or gentleman shot himself, has certain planks in the floor from which the blood will not be taken out. You may scrape and scrape as the present owner has done, or plane and plane as his father did, or scrape and scrub as his grandfather did, or burn and burn with strong acids as his great-grandfather did, but there the blood will still be, no redder and no paler, no more and no less, just always just the same. Yeah, so it's like, you can't reverse what you've done, like it's just always there, and so you have to be careful what you do.
Yep. Why does the author go into such detail about the Christmas tree and all like the ornaments?
He wants you to feel like it's like a lot of books want you to interpret like a certain like significant figure like this is because like it's up to what we want to view it as type of thing.
I think it's like he wants it to be really vivid so he can like just picture everything and like it kind of becomes its own little world.
Yeah. Like
the Christmas tree kind of represents like the world, but like yeah, it's like this whole representation of the world. It seems like to me.
Yeah.
How does okay, so all the things.
Yeah.
What do they have in common, and how does it make you feel? Like reading about all the things like he like vividly describes. How does it make you feel? Like, what emotions are you feeling when you read the description?
Well,
Do you
I
feel
mean,
like
he talks about like all these like horses and going to the market and all these foods and like all these things that he kind of created personalities for that were just inanimate objects, and like I think it made me what it made me feel like, I don't know, it was just like, it was really like kind of like a dreamy world he described, and like it's almost like, yeah, it's like something you would dream about, and then it was really bizarre and like had all these strange things going on, and so like it was kind of like surreal and like, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when I read it, like, it was kind of like I was in my own little world. Like, it kind of made me picture what it would be like, and then, like, using imagination, like, I could see different things in a different way than what he wrote, and it's just like you're kind of stuck in your own little world until he brings you out of it, and then you're just like, oh,
yeah,
I'm sad now.
Yeah.
It's like you want to kind of stay in that like fantasy world forever, because it's something that it's like you're a child forever there. You know, like
Okay.
How does it make you feel?
Kind of like if I just read that part where he's just describing like all the stuff, I would say happy.
Yeah.
Because you know, Christmas, pretty like
Then he goes
happy.
to ghosts,
Yeah, and then like it gets like to the other part of the story, and then like it's all about death and stuff, and just kind of like kind of brings me down.
Yeah, I feel like that, like giving you like the happy world, and then switching it to like very scary and like dark. It's kind of like showing. It's like he's kind of showing you as well that like not everything's perfect. You know, like not everything. Is able. Yeah, it's like you can't. You know, have this perfect world without death and whatever. It's like it's gonna hit you. You know, it's reality. Like you can't do anything about it when it happens. And I feel like that he was trying to teach us that like we can't like be stuck on one certain thing when we have other things to do with our lives. Like I don't know, like if like an incident happened or something, like you can't just keep dwelling on that. Like you need to keep going and like figuring out other ways to like do you, because you know, like never mind.
Yeah.
Hey,
I have a kind of related to that 158.
Oh.
God, I'm a loser.
Um,
Where is there?
okay, so it's the quotations, "Ode to your father." Yeah. So it's basically this girl who saw herself, kind of like saw her ghost. "Oh, dear father, I have met myself." He took her in his arms and told her it was fancy, but she said, "Oh no, I met myself in the broad walk, and I was pale and gathering withered flowers, and I turned my head and held them up." And that night she died, and a picture of her story was begun, though never finished, and they say it is somewhere in the house to this day, with its face to the wall. And so, like, it's, you never know what's going to happen in your life, you know, like, you never know when you're going to die, like, could be tomorrow. And so...
it could be tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, no, we need it for the Winter Olympics. We need to ski first.
So like, it's kind of like, value your life for what it is.
Oh, it's so cringy.
Yeah. So, like, basically, yeah.
Okay, judgment. What?
What?
Like that's like the category of questions.
That's the question?
No, category of
Okay, I was
questions.
going to say that's a bad question.
Judgment. What is the author trying to get across when he keeps this? Did we already talk about this?
I don't know, did we?
What is the author trying to get across when he keeps describing all the things on the tree?
No, we didn't talk about that.
Alright.
Say that again.
Okay. What is the author trying to get across when he keeps describing all the things on the tree?
Well, I think he wants it to be really complex. Like, it's all these different things going on, and I think that just gives like the story a lot of detail and like depth, and I think like he kind of uses that to just like make it more real feeling to the reader. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the story shouldn't be like a 2D like thing. Like he made it so vivid because he wanted us to see what it could be like again. Like having us interpret what he wrote, and like he wanted us to. It was up for grabs basically. Like we could make it our own thing. Thank you. What'd you do?
Yeah.
That does better, I guess.
I just got a bottle.
Sorry.
No, I'll fix it. Oh, there you go. Okay, next question.
How does the author make hints that the main character is...
Oh my god.
Well, I guess ghosts are real.
No, don't like that.
You heard it here first.
I should just put the brightness up then. Where is it? There you go. Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I can't help
Why
it.
does this always happen?
How does the author make hints that the main character... Damn it, Isaac.
Are you pulling a card on us now? Bronchitis looking ass.
How does the author make hints that the main character is dead?
He switches perspectives. Like
Well, he tells us where
Yeah.
he's
No, like before he like admits, you know.
Oh, well, I mean, it kind of sounds like this distant. It kind of gives you like a distant feeling. Like he's talking about all this, like, kind of feels like it's all already happened, and so like you kind of wonder like what happened after this because he's already old. So like, yeah, I think he doesn't give that many hints though. Like,
I know, but it gets some.
it's yeah.
It's like you had to look deeper into
I mean,
what he was saying.
he did kind of give a feeling throughout the story. Like, it just kind of felt like a dream,
Yeah.
like a past thing.
I'm uncomfortable. These chairs are not. Or
These
these
chairs?
these stairs are not very comfy in my bed. So I'm changing that.
It's true.
Okay.
Um, we have 5 left.
Oh my teeth. Okay.
How? Just want to quick speed
Continue.
these.
Just continue.
Yeah.
Quick-
Just
quick
keep
fire?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
How do you think?
Oh, you're right.
Okay, so like concepts now. So like, how do you think our main character died?
I think. Well, you saw the ghost.
Well, yeah,
first.
but like, do you think?
I think.
Does it give any evidence into how he?
Well, it before that it talked about like how all these people after they saw a ghost died,
Yeah.
and so I think it kind of like relates to that because he saw this ghost come into this like bedroom and then she left, and she was like I think she killed herself.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of caused him to die because he talked about earlier like how this one lady heard all these carriages outside her castle, and then like the next morning she told everyone, and that there was a tradition where after that someone died, and 2 months later someone did die. So I think that's how he died. Doesn't really say though.
That's right. It's concepts, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
It's kind of
What?
like.
Why are ghosts in both? Wait, what? Why are ghosts in both Christmas Carol and Christmas Tree, and how are they related?
Because I feel like.
I think it's like a.
We kind of touched on this.
I think it's a good. It's just like a good way to describe like the past and the future, and like how like kind of the passing of life. Yeah, I think it's just like a good vehicle for like describing that vehicle.
Yeah, it's as well as like it's kind of like it's like to me like the ghosts kind of like represent like things that you didn't do in your lifetime, and it's coming from like my culture as well as like since I'm Buddhist, like we believe in like enlightening and stuff like that, but like I don't know, there are times when my mom's like you have to do certain things to pass over, or like if you don't, like you stay here, and that's what I think the ghosts were kind of representing, was that they didn't do like
they had to do.
Yeah, they didn't do what they had to do to pass over, and I feel like the ghosts are kind of like they're they're kind of like kind of just souls walking here, trying to figure out themselves and like why didn't they get to know?
They're kind of the ones who didn't figure it out.
They didn't figure it out. Yeah,
Like it was too late for them.
Yeah, so now
They
they're kind of
screwed up,
they're kind of here to help the other people who are about to die.
Or else punish them.
Yeah,
Just-
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Okay. Did the main character want to die?
Oh, it's up for debate. To
I-
be honest,
I don't think he wanted to die.
Yeah.
I think he kind of was like, he didn't seem that satisfied with his life, but he was kind of this lonely nobleman who just kind of was living alone, and I don't think he wanted to die though. He was still like, he was still living life.
yeah. I think it's up for grabs. To be honest, like I don't know. Maybe I didn't read it well enough, but like I felt like the author didn't really tell us how. Like
didn't.
he told us exactly, like he told us where, but like not how. And I feel like that to me kind of like shows again that Dickens is just he's just a master of like wonders. He like
Mastery of mystery.
yeah, like he like lets us like put the story together. Like he wants us to keep figuring or trying to figure it out what happened.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's debatable, to be honest. TBH.
Okay, next question.
Okay.
Um,
I'm hungry.
what is the main thing the main character looks at?
The wood looks at.
Yeah, right. Christmas tree.
Dick.
Can I answer this one?
Yes.
It's the Christmas tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
I know.
I didn't
Calm
know.
down.
Wow.
I can think.
Wow.
Well, so I think there's a lot. It's the mask is the one that stands out for me because it's
Oh. I can.
okay. It's like this. It's this this like paper mask, but for some reason he's really terrified of it, and like
Shit, man, that would be
because he's terrified of it because it's like totally expressionless,
I don't know.
and like it doesn't when it's on people's faces they're just like blank, and I think he just gets freaked out by like the lack of emotion and the lack of like
That also
movie,
ties
yeah.
in with 1984. Like it does. Like they're emotional blobs.
emotionless blobs.
Yeah, they're just little blobs that walk.
What about Winston?
He is.
Dog? She isn't. Spoiler.
Exposed.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
Expo-
Okay, next one.
What is the main character's point of view on life? You like it or hate it? Am I?
It's in between.
Fair.
I mean, we touched base on it, but like not. Really.
You said that. Okay, so yeah. Does he like life or he hates life?
He doesn't hate life. Like he talks about all that stuff on the Christmas tree, like really like, detailed. I think if he hated life, it would all just be like kind of gray and just bad. But I think sounds like he had a pretty good childhood and like he kind of like enjoyed life.
Gone too soon. Never.
I mean, he kind of like lost his sense of wonder of the world as he got older, but I think he still enjoyed life.
Yeah.
Alright. You have anything else to say?
What was it?
Alright. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys. See you guys next time.
We got a post for this, ready?
Yeah. Thumbnail.